turning inside out. Beautiful move. Trying to get the shot on. He holds. He shoots. He scores! Absolutely.
The pitch. High fly ball center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Goal!
Roethlisberger gives him a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10.
That's great. What a graphic. Sorry, folks, this is live. I just saw my 10-year anniversary graphic at the beginning like you guys did. I'm honored and blessed. Thank you, BPTV, and all my 6,934 fans out there. Appreciate it. Thanks for watching another live Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studios here in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7 only. Again, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, all the way from Nemacolin, Cranberry, Wexford, all points in between, city of Pittsburgh, you name it. You can see us out there if you're in the Verizon hub. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the Facebook likes. We're holding steady, 6934. Looking for a few. I got my smartphone out. Please like our page. Trying to get to 7,000 as soon as we're able. So we're looking forward to that. Got a lot of great sports. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smoking Jim Frazier, Nick Callis, and Chip Hayner. Just talked to him today. The update is his knee replacement went well. He's 1 week into his PT, unlike Smoking Jim. He does PT Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week. The girl's working him hard. She said, you're a week ahead of schedule. Keep doing it. Chip said he's in a lot of pain. He appreciates the prayers for him, and he plans on to keep working through it. He sees the doctor December 8th or 10th. He'll give us an update then, but that's the latest update. And we'll have a lack of baseball from Chip for a while and other things. And he said, just as a little side note since we're on Chip, he said that was one of the worst Steeler games I saw. I shut it off at halftime.
Wow. Wow.
Yep.
He must have been in pain.
No. No. He said he texted you a dozen times about how bad the game was and you were sleeping.
Nice.
All right, we'll go to some promotions here. Let's see if I can pull one out here. Wait a second. Where's my favorite? How does this even happen? Olive Oil's Pizzeria, Hillcrest Shopping Center. Look what A2 did right off the bat. It's on fire. Look at that. 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center. Frank Finero said hello. He said, Smoking Jim, just drop off one of your sweeties sometime in the near future, like next Tuesday. And I said, do you know Snow?
Everybody knows Snow.
I didn't then. Just a little thing. Great Italian food. You name it, they got it. I was there. They were packaging up a chocolate cake for a takeout order. Ooh. So they got all kind of good salads and healthy things to eat there. And Frank said, stop in any time. We appreciate you. And I said, we'll return it here. It tastes great. XL pepperoni pizza, steak hoagie cut in 6 slices. That way Smoking Jim can take 2 home, one for his friend that's not a girlfriend and one for the dog that's not his owner. Glad we got that out of the way. We end each show with Stay Joey Strong. That's a picture of Joey Fabus. Look at that pic. Unbelievable. How about the timing on that? Can't beat it. And Greg Anderson, you tell us to take the mask off, but we have a mandate in Bethel Park because of COVID that we have to wear our mask. I've been vaccinated, have a booster, and we're just doing this because we're trying to follow the law here. So I appreciate your comments each week, and we'll try to keep talking like we do and do our show. We're just honored to be able to do it in our studio here, which we've done for 10 straight years. So I appreciate your comment and respect it. But we got to do our job here, and this is what we're doing. So that's just how it is. And poor Joey died before his 9th birthday. He was 8 years old from DIPG, a dreaded brain cancer. It's a death sentence. They die within a year, and it's over 6 years ago that he did die. The family lost a second child, Joey. They started the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. It's a 501c3. You can donate money and write it off on your taxes. And as little as $1, donate your time, whatever you want to do to try to help out. And they've raised over $100,000 to send the kids and families and the doctor to find a cure for DIPG. And I talked to the Dr. Gary, and he said they're getting close, like I've told you before, to finding something that can help with this dreaded brain cancer. So that's good news there. All right, we started trying to help Always Be Smiling. B is named Bennett. He died at 16 and a half last year. His mother, Kristen and Dean, they started Always Be Smiling last December. And they do a lot of great things for people in the area getting kidney transplants and people with chronic kidney disease, like what I had and almost died, and I got a living donor. They try to promote that. So they needed help with their site. I now have them up to 942 likes. So they're getting close to 1,000. Thanks to all of you who've said Always Be Smiling, and the ones that have asked questions. They're doing a lot of great things in the area, and we're trying to get 1,000 likes by December 11th. I'm optimistic, but I still got a couple thousand friends to ask, so we'll see what we can come up with. But thank you for your help on that, and good luck to them. Next up, another 501c3. Wow, look at that. The Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road. They have the old trolley there, red trolley, right out front. It's a 1905 schoolhouse, been revamped, reconstructed, new roof, 107 windows. It's amazing what they've done there, a new cupola, the old original bells back there in the beltry, so you can see it and hear it. They got a new flagpole that they put up that's an original flagpole from the 60s. Just posted that up in the ground, so more history at the Historical Society. They have events there, they have yearbooks, they have my favorite tea place, which is Reginald's Coffee. For you coffee connoisseurs, they have green roasted or green coffee beans. They roast them right there in their humble establishment. They have a roaster, and friends of mine, 50, 60, 100 friends have said it's better than Starbucks. So check them out, go to Reginald's Coffee. Tell Julie and Matt the talking machine sent you. They also have green tea for me, and I've drank it there many a time, so check it out.
You got to work on your ring finger.
What's that?
You got to work on your ring finger.
Why? Why, what's wrong with it?
We got to get you hitched, brother.
I was married once, Smoking Jim, and for all those that don't know about Smoking Jim, supposedly he was too. And we won't say what year, and we won't say how many kids he has, and we won't say how many grandkids he has. But for a mark like that, I'll put the ring finger out. How'd I do, Smoking? All right, look at this one. Senior Helpers, 100 Broughton Road. Smoking Jim, that's near Walgreens, right across the street from Walgreens. I would explain catty corner, but Nick, try to tell them what catty corner means. And it's Suite B, Bethel Park. And call Jeff, 412-851-3223. And it's Senior Helpers. And they help people with Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, companion care, personal care, transitional care, gambling care for Smoking Jim, chronic disease care, VA benefit assistance, respite care, surgery assistance. If you're my age, you have aunts, uncles, grandparents, cousins that need help around the house, they can get an appointment with you and see how they can help. and they are a profitable business, so they will charge you an amount of money per hour to have you take care of your parents and loved ones. So check them out. They're doing great things, not only in Bethel Park, but in southwestern PA area. So just give them a call, 412-851-3223. All right, let's see what I can come up here for A2. Here's a big one. Did it work? Oh, there was that pause. That came up perfectly. The Dean Streeter Holiday Concert, Sunday, December 12th, 2 p.m. You need a vaccine card. You need a mask to get in. They have Community Band South, directed by Jim Bennett and Max Ganano. Bethel Park High School Top 21, Todd Kazakwa. Handbell Ringers, which Smokin' Jim never heard of before. Southminster Presbyterian by Richard Pinkerton. It's free admission. Donations are accepted, and there's limited seating, and you can start coming in at 2 o'clock. Performance starts at 2:30. I'll be one of the volunteers helping with handing out bags of cookies. For all of you people need some holiday cookies, they got dozens and dozens of them coming. They'll be in a bag, and we'll hand them out to you. You can call 412-851-2910 for more information. Again, I'm getting old. I'll repeat myself, 412-851-2910. Dean Streeter Holiday Concert. Next up, A2 on a roll. Let's see what happened. There it is. Kathleen Miller, her kidney function's about 16% now. We've been posting this up for 6-7 months. She has a live living donor, like my son, and a living donor is about 29.7 years longevity that they can last. That means Smokin' Jim, it'll function for that length of time, and they don't have to have another surgery possibly. And with a cadaver, which you're on the list for, they're only good for about 14-point-something years. So it's twice as good to get a living donor. She has one lined up for when she gets down to 15%, where I was at, and my son donated his great kidney, and I'm doing very well, thanks to everybody. And we're going to get that for her. I'm hoping to meet her soon before the end of the year, so we'll see what happens. Kathleen, thanks for liking some of the things we post and watching our show each week. And she still wants to know how Smokin' Jim does this.
Machine, I got a question.
Go ahead.
Say if somebody's 50 years old, they get a cadaver.
Yeah.
When they're 65, can they get another cadaver?
Yeah, they could.
Okay.
I actually met a guy, since we're a little off subject, but about this subject. You know, I got nothing but true stories. I'm at a little meeting with living donors, and they asked me to speak for about 10 minutes. And I said to the lady in charge, you'll have to stop me. So she goes, okay, we'll handle it. So I only did about 15 minutes. But before I went up, there's different people there, and Smokin' Jim will vouch for this. I say hi to everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
So I say hi to a nice gentleman next to me, older gentleman. I won't say whether he was black or white, because Smokin' Jim would say he was black. But that's another story. So I go, how are you? He goes, oh, man, I need another kidney. He goes, I've already had 3 kidneys. I'm looking for my 4th. So I go, how old are you? And I think he said he was a couple years younger than me. So I said, I'm blessed. I just had my son give me a kidney. He goes, I'm trying to get a living donor because I heard they last longer, and I had problems with 3 kidneys. So he was in his early 60s trying to get another kidney. All right. That was one of your better questions ever on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
I'm educated.
No, I'm getting choked up. Hold
Where's
on.
your disclaimer there?
Wow. Rarely am I at a loss for words, but he has like 18 degrees from Gateway and now Cal U, from General So to basket weaving, walk up the steps, degree 1, go to the gym, degree number 2. So he already was educated, And if he acquired some education now, I think he just learned that sometimes you can ask an intelligent question.
Hooray!
This is no disclaimer, Tony of Chick-fil-A. It's a breathtaking moment for me. I'm getting emotional. Okay, I'm back. Thanks, Smoking Jim. That was the best ever on Pittsburgh Sportsline question. We can only go up from here. All right, A2, at it again. Let's see what he could do. Look at this, will you? Wow, that timing was perfect. Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. Grant money of $100 to $5,000 for your organization in Bethel Park doing great things and helping others out in our community. We've given out over $1 million. We had our biggest event, the Bethel Bounty, and I think it brought in over $40,000. So thanks to everybody for coming out. I'm a trustee on the Bethel Park Community Foundation, been there for years, plan on being there at least another 3 years, I've been told, as a trustee. So we'll keep promoting this, whether I'm on there or not. Go to bpcf.org. You could donate as little as $1, any type of donation, and you can even apply for money for your group. So check that out. All right, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun. This is the good sheet. Okay, those ratty ones are there. Let's see, A2. Bingo. Tell them Uncle Al sent you. I want you for BPTV. Volunteer today like A2, like Nick, like Ryan, like A1. 412-831-3304. These volunteers were so good, they stayed last week after my show till about 10:15 filming a show that I do with Jessica Lee and her great guitar, legendary guitar man, Mark Strickland, and they were on fire. Wait till you see the videos for Christmas of these 12 different songs. We're going to come down with 6 that turned out great. So it'll be a great couple shows we do with by request. I don't just do Pittsburgh Sportsline. I do about 3 or 4 other TV shows. Just not brag, just saying. So stay tuned for that. Again, for you guys and girls in high school, girls can work here too. We're not just about the guys. We know what Smoking Jim is about, pictures of girls, but that's another story. Just call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable that Uncle Al Levine, the talking machine, said, you need me. And we can help you in a career down the road if you want to get into TV, commercials, radio, anything that has to do with audio and video, they can teach you here. And Dave has great experience with what he does, over 500 shows per year. My show is an award-winning show, voted by the other producers, 20-some producers. So I've won awards since 2012, and a lot of these other shows have won awards too. So we do a lot of great works and great things in Bethel Park community, and I'm thankful to Bethel Park and BPTV. All right, here's the test. A2, is he going to be up for it or not? Let's see, let me straighten some things out. Sorry for the delay, this is live TV. Here we go. Let's see how it's framed here. Look at that green for Green Tree and Al Levine. Green, just follow the green. Check it out, 6103 Library Road. That's Skeets Service Station, sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski. Red, white, and blue station. Can't miss it, about 6 miles from the studio, down Route 88. All of you people in the area know Library Road is Route 88. Past Tracks Farm, Dairy Queen, a couple other little places, even Dollar General store there. You can find it right on the right side of the road heading out towards Finleyville. Call 724-348-4715 and tell them you have a problem with your car, your truck, your weed whacker, your lawnmower, your boat, your trailer, your electronic weed whacker, your electronic hedge trimmer, screwdriver. You name it, they fix anything and everything that runs on gas plus electronic devices. They even had some raccoons for a while that Smoking Jim became friends with. He didn't know that they're wild animals and they break out and want to be free. He didn't know that with all 20 degrees that he has. So he'll have to learn more. But that's what we have out there, and he sponsors What's on Your Mind. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
There it is.
you got to see Levine. I tell you what, I had lunch today in your hood
Where?
on Green Tree Road at the Panera Bread.
Nice.
And I was,
That's at the other end of Green Tree from where I grew up. I grew up next to the Parkway.
Technically, that's not Braintree, though.
Well, I wanted to.
I know, it's Scott Township.
Well, I wanted to have.
He's choking me up.
I wanted to have lunch at Duke's. You know, the sports bar we used to do shows at?
Yeah.
But I got there, and everything around Duke's looked like it's been blown up.
Smoking Jim.
I mean, it looked, I didn't want to go to Duke's, and that'd be the next man's minefield. So I went to Panera Bread, and I had a coffee. I didn't want to get no food because the kitchen was too close to the bathrooms. So I didn't trust the cooks.
Smoking Jim.
Coffee was good.
They've been doing this for years.
What, blowing up Green Tree?
No.
I see.
No. So a lot of
So
businesses.
depressing.
You live in like when you were
God's country.
When you were, we don't know where you live because sometimes you're at New Ken. But you have the rose-colored glasses even when they're black. All you see is what you think you see, and I don't know if you're aware.
I was so hungry.
I don't know if you're aware, but thousands of businesses have gone out of business.
Man, the whole thing is just, all it is bricks and mortar.
Well, Smoking Jim, when you saw Duke's, like here, if we drove up and Duke's
Maxim
is here.
Lerma's is even tore down.
That's been closed for years. Here, Duke's is here. There's shops and businesses right past Duke's.
Only thing that survived was Taco Bell.
No.
There's a
Taco
Wendy's there.
Bell's-
There's a Burger's Bagel up there. I
Taco-
still get my hair cut at that shop. Sports Clip still.
You ever see that
Swan
movie
Spirits.
with Rocky in
Chipotle.
it, Sylvester Stallone, and all there was Taco Bell? That's what I started
No, I didn't
thinking.
see that.
Yeah, you ever see that movie?
I saw him go to the top of the steps.
Huh?
I saw
Yeah.
him go to the top of the steps in Philadelphia.
But here,
And what's your point of all this?
let me save time, Al Levine, the
Let's
talking
save
machine.
time.
Hey, in honor.
Hold it, I
of-
got to interrupt you. Somebody's dad named Steve said, Panera makes great broccoli bowls.
Wow.
And
That's what I
shout out
heard.
to Jackie Danko Hooper, one of my friends. Thanks for watching our show. We appreciate you peeking in on us tonight.
Well, what I'm going to do is in honor of Anthony, who had his birthday party in God's country, Monroeville,
Who goes by Tony at Chick-fil-A.
goes by Tony at Chick-fil-A. I'm going to do my top 10. And the top 10.
Hold it, wait. Before he goes any further, Tony, known as Anthony in personal life, asked for a top 10 in baseball.
In baseball, I'll do that next week.
No, just so, Tony, I just want to clarify because I got to talk privately to
What do you want,
Tony.
hitters, pitchers,
No,
fielders,
Tony,
NL, Negro Leagues?
No, here, Smoking Jim, Tony's very simple like me. When he asks a question, he wants an answer. He said top 10 in baseball.
Well, I'll do this top 10. The top 10
So you ignored that.
The top 10 players who will never get in the NFL Hall of Fame because they're white. Here's some reverse discrimination for you, Elevator.
Race card came out early, folks.
10D, Andy Russell. 10C, Matt Millen. 10B, Jim Haslett. Number 10, can you believe Roman Gabriel's not in the Hall of Fame? Number 9.
Hold it, I got a story. My head coach at Keystone Oaks, who you disrespect all the time, Munz Mancini, was a starting quarterback before Roman Gabriel. He got beat out by Roman Gabriel and had to ride the bench after that.
In college.
I didn't explain anything else.
Wow,
Yes.
that's so cool.
Smoking Jim, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Are there white people in the NFL Hall of Fame?
Pardon me?
Are there white people in the NFL
Not
Hall
as
of
many
Fame?
as there should
No.
be.
Are there though?
Not as many as there should be.
Can you answer yes or no?
So there
But
are.
let me finish this list. Well,
your list-
And I think we agree so far that
No, we don't.
all our white brothers in this list should be in the Hall of Fame. You don't know this guy, but 9B Steve Corson, number 9.
I knew Steve Corson. I was
you-
friends with
Can
him.
you believe Joe?
I was
Theismann?
friends with him.
Can you believe Joe Theismann for the Heisman is not in the Hall of Fame?
Look how he broke his leg.
How about the hardest hitting safety in NFL history next to Jack Tatum, Chuck Cecil? It's not in the Hall of Fame. Here's a guy that should be in one of the first of the Steel Curtain to go in the Hall of Fame. John Cowboy Kolb should be in the Hall of Fame. The greatest defensive lineman I ever seen.
Did you say John Kolb?
John Cowboy Kolb should be in the Hall
Wasn't
of Fame.
he the strongest man in football?
Strongest man in football, never gave up a sack at left tackle in the Super Bowl.
Who'd he play for?
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Just wanted you to emphasize that.
Here's the greatest defensive lineman I ever seen, and you seen too, and you're wearing his colors. Mark Gastineau held the sack record for years until Brett Favre gave it to Michael Strahan. How about the biggest neck in football history, Zach Thomas?
Whoa.
Gave his sister to
What was it,
Taylor.
28?
Huh?
Was it 28?
With a bull neck, man. How about my favorite? Now he don't like black people, and I don't hold it against him, but he was my favorite.
Cobb.
He was my all-time favorite.
You mean in baseball? You switched to baseball.
He's my all-time favorite football player. Bill Romanowski was tough. He should be in. Lyle Alzado, how can he not be in there?
Steroids did him in.
Conrad Dobler, the greatest to ever
Meanest.
play guard.
One of the meanest.
Nobody. The A-Train, Mike Allstott, you know he should be in there. The greatest linebacker.
Tell him what position he played.
Who?
All-Star.
He played fullback.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't see that in the NFL.
Yeah.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. Al Levine, the talking. Well, Jim Brown was a fullback. Franco was a fullback. Larry's uncle was a fullback, but they won't put All-Star in there. Al Levine, the talking machine. Maybe Jack Ham was the greatest. If he wasn't the greatest outside linebacker I ever seen was Clay Matthews. He's not in the Hall of Fame. And number 1, Bill Fralick. Bill Fralick should be. No, Clay Matthews' dad, not the Clay Matthews you know. Clay Matthews' dad. Got
What'd
more
you say
tackles.
about where's
Got more
Bill
tackles at outside.
Where's Bill
linebacker.
Fralick from?
Bill Fralick's from a school near Monroeville.
Penn Hills.
Yeah, Penn Hills.
But that's what's on my mind. Al Levine, the talking machine. I don't like no discrimination, especially reverse
Smoking
discrimination.
Jim, our friend Pete from Bill Boyce's, you remember meeting Pete?
Yeah, that's my man.
He goes, Taco Bell, was that Mexico's phone system?
That was a good one.
And,
I got to use that one.
A friend of mine that knew
You
my...
can use that Friday with your speeches.
Smoking Jim, a friend of mine from Nashville who grew up around here in Brentwood, Keith Appenrott, he's watching the show, and he lives down in Nashville right now. So he's
he got out of Greentree. Everybody gets out of there.
Hold it. Did you even hear where I said he grew up?
Where did he grow up?
Brentwood.
Oh, he grew up in Brentwood. Okay, not too many people leave.
And I still live in Greentree, you jerk.
Yeah, but it got to be depressing. You don't know no better. You went to Waynesburg. Greentree is better than Waynesburg. Only thing in Waynesburg is a Hardee's and a federal prison. Yeah.
Another disclaimer, Smoking
It's a
Jim's...
federal pen, isn't it? It's a federal
Did you
pen.
forget about the university? That exists too.
I mean, that's depressing.
Well,
800 students. How many students on campus? About 800?
No.
How many?
We're talking thousands, Smoking
No,
Jim.
I'm not talking online. Okay, it used to be 800.
I gotta do a disclaimer for the studio here. Smoking Jim's opinions are his own, and they're not even close to reality.
I thought I was close.
You're not even close to reality. He just says whatever's on the top of his head. He's just such a nice guy. We can't help but not like him. But I disagree what you would say 100% from you. So I cannot agree to disagree because you're that wrong.
Did you disagree with my list?
Yes.
Finally, a top 10 from Smoking Jim. But missing was some baseball players.
Was that Anthony?
Yeah.
Tony.
Put that on?
That's our official Tony from Chick-fil-A who goes by Anthony privately.
Wait, I'm getting confused. I used to call Tony. Now I call him Anthony.
But
Rather be
that
Anthony
guy
now.
doesn't like to
No,
be
this
called
guy's
Tony.
Anthony. Now he want to be called Tony. I get confused.
Our cameraman
Are
is
you talking about A2?
I'm talking about Tony Curtis.
We don't have Tony Curtis.
Hey, good looking like Tony Curtis.
You don't even know who he was.
He was a singer, wasn't he?
He was an actor, too. And how's he dressed up today?
Oh,
You didn't
he
even
sharp,
make a
he sharp.
comment.
Is this Cancer Awareness Month?
No.
Okay, because I seen
He missed it.
I seen the pink.
You must have
missed
missed
it.
it too.
I got some pink on.
That was October.
Yeah.
I thought it was October, but I wasn't sure.
All right, we got another friend, Chip Snyder. Chip, hello.
Oh, that's my
one
man.
One of the best MMA referees that I've ever seen or
Heck
met
yeah.
and know. So to his continued success
Great
and
guy.
all that he does, just a great guy.
Great guy, man.
And we appreciate all of you for watching us. Sorry it gets a little crazy, but Smokin' Jim tried to extend this first segment, and it didn't work too well because we're going to move to Nick Callis. What's on your mind? And no questions from Smokin' Jim.
No questions. Understood. I won't take any questions. Well, it's finally getting cold enough for me to wear long sleeve outfits. So here we go, bringing the checkered patterns back. I'm also going to shave tomorrow because No Shave November is over. So last time for me to promote Men's Health with my hair. So you'll see more smooth cuts come this weekend.
Hold
Smokin'
it.
Jim.
Smokin' Jim beat you to that.
Did he?
He shaved clean.
Oh, did you? Look at you. Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Yeah. Wish I could see your hair though, but there's always some kind of hat on top of your head.
Does he have hair?
Find out next week, maybe or not. I don't know. But sports. So I'm mad at the Steelers. I'll make it brief
Okay.
because I'm even more upset with the Pirates, which will be in my following segment. But
I got something on the Pirates next, so I'll
all right,
cover that.
All right. Well,
And I'm happy about it.
still on the Dwayne train. But we've already heard about. We've
Disclaimer.
already heard about that. I get it. He doesn't like it.
Disclaimer. That's his own opinion.
Yes, that's my opinion, not nobody else on the panel's opinion.
Nor
But
do
what I
I
wanted to
agree.
say is that I feel like Mike Tomlin and Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers organization recently has taken pride in not having a losing season with the regime. And I know a lot of people that I've heard hate that narrative because why don't the Steelers tank? And I can understand to an extent as somebody who's had a large ego before and taken a lot of pride in certain records or streaks that don't really mean anything. I can understand where Tomlin and Roethlisberger are coming, where they want to keep putting together a mediocre to above average performance every year without winning a championship. But as I look at it, and as they should look at it, there's got to come a point where it's like, hey, finishing 9-8 or finishing 8-1 this year, which is likely, finishing around 500, it's not good enough, and Roethlisberger is not good enough for us to get it done. Mason Rudolph's not good enough for us to get it done. None of the quarterbacks on the team are good enough. The defense is weak without one or two players being active week to week, and poor T.J. Watt. It's been an unfortunate year for him after signing the guaranteed $80 million contract.
No, he had 12.5 sacks in 9 games, which is tremendous.
Yeah, but he's missed a few games, which is kind of, like you want to have him for
Well,
those
only
games.
a couple now, and he has COVID watch.
Right, but a couple of those games, I feel like, if he wasn't active for the Lions, right?
Right.
They might have won with him, being active. So I'm just saying it's a little bit unfortunate.
Well, just to interject, if
Right.
they would have done anything positive, they could have won.
Anyway, my whole point is that maybe it's okay next year. Let's take a gap year. Maybe not necessarily draft a quarterback right away. Get some other finer pieces of the line, or maybe get some role players who aren't in the spotlight. Get a structure together. Then maybe the year after, go after a quarterback who's good enough to lead us, to lead the Steelers far into the playoffs. But Tomlin got to get away from the pride of not having a losing season in Pittsburgh, because I feel like, it's becoming monotonous. I understand where he's coming from, but it's getting monotonous, and I don't like it anymore. Neither does Steeler Nation, and that's what's on my mind.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Nick.
I agree
Shout out to a friend of ours, Judge Ron Arnone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Brother, we appreciate you. Thanks to Anthony from Chick-fil-A, known as Tony. He said Kenny Pickett will solve all of our quarterback problems next year.
Well.
All right, what's on my mind? There's always little winter meetings and backdoor things happening in baseball, and I've always been a fan of baseball. That's my first love, and I'm constantly disappointed and frustrated with the Pirates. but that's my own opinion here. And they made a trade, which I'm for it, because you had Jacob Stallings, who when he first came here and his dad was not doing well at Pitt, he wasn't even a bad baseball player. He wasn't even playing really much. So he made himself through hard work and great effort into a Gold Glove winner this year, and his batting average wasn't bad. And he set a record for, what was it, putouts or something? He was, in catchers, I think he was top with putouts or something.
He didn't have a pass ball.
Yeah, no pass ball or something like that. So what a superstar. Then when I heard he's 32 years old, I'm thinking with the Pirates disassembling their team and trying to get young minor leaguers, they traded him away for 3 minor leaguers, 2 pitchers, and somebody else. And one was even a #1 pick a few years ago. So it gives us some pitching in the minor leagues. And what would we have got if Stallings went back to hitting around 200 next year? We would have had no value. So I think they maxed the value out. I give Charrington kudos for making a move while he got the most value for a guy who wasn't going to make much difference. How many games did we lose again? 101? Would we have done much better with him next year? That's my question. I don't believe so with just what we're doing. I'm not going to bring up the owner because we're stuck with him forever. So we have to try to get good players in the minors. And we have over 30-some new players. And low A ball, we won a championship. And triple A, we came in second. So if you're winning in the minors, which they didn't even play last year, that shows me some potential that's out there. So I'm hopeful for the Buccos. Not that we're going to have a winning team, but everybody remembers the cheating Astros when they had a couple 100 lost seasons. Somehow they became a championship team. I don't know if we can follow that path, but it's been done by other teams like Miami, Brewers, and other teams. Look at even Oakland, small money teams. So I'm a little bit hopeful, and we're going to come back with some fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, the VIP of BPTV, my main man, Nick. And I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine.
Yes.
My fiction and fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac goes back to the 1 o'clock today. We going way back, Al Levine, the talking machine.
You mean at Panera's?
Panera, I had lunch. Well,
What was her name?
actually, it was a living legend.
What's her name?
Rashid Marshall, who
Okay.
used to be a star quarterback for
I've
West
heard of him.
Virginia, played 3 years in the National Football
I've heard
League.
of him.
Man, did we go back. He sat back. Now, first of all, this man's in shape. I tell you what, Al Levine, the talking machine, he's chiseled out of stone, man. All
Really?
muscle. He's a personal trainer now, and he does, commentates football games for Robert Morris and some other places. Al Levine, the talking machine, he bought 30 tickets off me today at $65 a ticket cash.
How much was that?
'Cause I don't take no checks from brothers. Al Levine, the talking machine. 1950.
He gave you almost $2,000.
Almost 2,000, but he didn't buy my lunch. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine, all I got to say is I told him, I said, this is the first time I seen you in person without your helmet on since your senior year at Robert Morris. I was at the game.
Wow.
Doing the newspaper story when Brashear played in the PIAA playoffs against a great McKeesport Tiger team, and Rashid Marshall went off on them. They blew McKeesport out. And then I told him, Al Levine, the talking machine, as you know, I used to be a traveling man, especially as an NFL scout.
You better explain that.
And I told him I was afraid for him because one year I went to Nitro High School in West Virginia for the state playoffs.
Okay.
and this quarterback threw 13 touchdowns. Now, one was an interception. First play of the game, he threw an interception the other way. But he threw 12 touchdown passes in the state championship game. The team they were playing had a running back that was going to Notre Dame, and his name was J.R. House.
Wow.
And J.R. House was so great in high school. You got to hear this, Anthony. J.R. House was so great in high school that he would play football in West Virginia, and then he would play baseball in Florida. He went to 2 different high schools. That's how good he was. I don't know if you remember, you might be too young. J.R. House
He's too young.
got drafted by the Pirates. Played catcher, started catcher a lot for the Pirates. Then he decided to go to West Virginia to play quarterback. And, I mean, you're talking, this is the Dan Marino of the state of West Virginia. And Rasheed Marshall hadn't gotten a starting job yet, and he had to compete with J.R. House. And I told him, I'm like, what was that like? He says, man, I felt bad. I never spoke to him. It was competition. He said, we're good friends now. And Rasheed Marshall ended up beating out J.R. House. And I tell you what, El Levine, the talking machine, he ended up being one of the top 5 passers in West Virginia history. He was a runner, a passer. Ended up going because he's a black quarterback. So the NFL asked him to change positions. So he went to wide receiver for the San Francisco 49ers. But he was a starting punt and kickoff return guy for 2 years, and then they sent him to Steelers. The Steelers sent him to another team, and then he played a couple years. The St. Louis Cardinals, I think. Then he played a couple years of arena ball. El Levine, the talking machine, I looked at him. I said, I would card you, man. That's how young he looked. He said, man, he says, I'm at the movies. He said, I really don't drink. That means don't drink much. He said, I'm at a
Thanks
movie.
for explaining it.
He said, I'm at a movie theater with a girl. I just imagine his girlfriend was probably a knockout. Like Wes Lyons got a beautiful girlfriend.
Right.
So he said.
Great little blast from the
He
past.
said she went to get a drink. You know, because they serve drinks at the movie theater.
Alcohol.
I didn't know that. Alcohol.
Alcohol.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
alcohol, right?
Right,
And
because it could have been a Pepsi.
And the bartender said, even though you're not drinking, I need to see your ID. And so he says, man, here, he just turned 40 years old. I told him I'd have threw you out because there ain't no way I'd have thought you was 40. You know what I mean, El Levine? I guess good black don't crack is what they say. You heard that.
No, I don't know what they say.
But hey, El Levine, it was great to see Rasheed Marshall's going into the City League Hall of Fame. You may be doing his bio if you ever get it. But hey, El Levine, the talking machine. Heinz Field Friday night. It's going to be all the way live. He said he's going to call Major Harris, get Major Harris to come on his behalf because he went to when they retired Major Harris's number. So they're still very good friends from the Hill District. And that's what's on my mind. Hey, he also told me
Yes.
the greatest quarterback I ever seen in City League history, or maybe ever, was Fred Marshall. And that's his uncle. And so he was shocked. He says, man, my uncle always tell me, I said, listen, your uncle was better than Major Harris. You know, just women and wine kept him out of college. But hey, El Levine, the talking machine. Fred Marshall is Brandon Marshall's dad.
Wow.
So he's Brandon Marshall's cousin. That's how that worked. You know, if one's an uncle and then the kids are cousins. So it comes from great bloodline. But you know,
how's it work with you? You have 100 godchildren.
they're my god cousins. Their kids will be my.
Oh, so they're
they're brother. I don't know how that works. I got to figure that out. Hell, good question. But do you know how many? You know how many of my godchildren I got to walk down the aisle one day?
No.
Because ain't none of their dads in their lives they'll be in the talking machine. Ain't that sad?
Yeah.
But so that's my next thing.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Because you know
so
I was in 27 weddings. I was the best man at 15. And I thought I wouldn't go to no more weddings. Now I'm going to have to walk all my god kids down the aisle. El Levine, the talking machine.
Smoking Jim.
Will you come?
If I get an invite, I'll come.
You know what? You know, at my wedding, you should get a pastor's license. You'll be my pastor at my wedding. I could see that even.
No, I don't play with God. I don't play with God. That's Dan. Dan can affiliate you. What's that called? Officiate your wedding. Dan Bogan. He does weddings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Well, he's
The
not you.
dreadlock DJ.
Huh?
Dan's a nice man. He's not you though.
Yeah, but I don't play with God. I mean, I haven't been called. God will have to call me for me to go into ministry. I don't play with God, do I, Elder Talker? I don't play that.
You just believe in God.
Yeah, I believe in God. I don't play.
No, we know
I ain't
that.
been called.
Well,
I put money in the plate. I don't take it out.
I hate to cut you short, but I want to say hi to Bill Means with the Crazy Train book, and he's the driver. Love the book. Bob Ridgway, one of my band guys. He has a great local band. Bob Ridgway, hello. Mark Richard, great guy I know from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. I was his dad's best friend. He passed away a couple years ago at 96 years old. He was sharper than smoking Jim Frazier at 96.
That's great.
So shout out to all you guys. I appreciate it, and thanks for watching. We got more. We're going to leave Smoking Jim, and we're going to go to Nick Callis segment.
Waiting for Smoking Jim to stop clapping. Appreciate it though. Very important positions. Talk about the Pirates.
We've been waiting for you. Get it.
Waiting for it. I'm a little bit upset with the Pirates because as I watch Major League Baseball now, I understand the Pirates aren't giving out any mega deals. It's probably never going to happen, even in my lifetime. That might happen in my lifetime, but not within the next 10 years. Saw like 3 guys get mega deals. Corey Seager, Max Scherzer, they're signed for over $100 million now. Corey Seager just beat Bryce Harper's big contract by getting a 10-year, $325 million deal.
What a deal.
It's just crazy. It's crazy stuff going on in baseball. But the Pirates aren't even really dipping in to the free agent pool so much. They got a deal on Yoshi Tsutsugo. That's a plus. We like Tsutsugo. He signed for $4 million.
I'm just glad you can pronounce that.
Yoshi Tsutsugo. Yeah, you want to try to say it, not Smoking Jim? No? Okay, anyway. But I look at a team like the Tigers, too, that's been kind of bad over the last few years. They went to a World Series, and then since then they kind of had a slow decline. But right now they're coming back, and they're making signings. Eduardo Rodriguez signed as a free agent from the Red Sox. They got Javier Baez, who signed as a free agent from the Cubs. They're starting to spend a little bit of money on premier players, and they're starting to put the pieces of the puzzle together. They're adding to a team that already has Jonathan Scope and some pitchers who have some promise. Now we got the Pirates, who again, they've struggled in recent years pretty badly. But look at where they're signing now. They got Jose Quintana, and we already talked about him last week about how he is old, and the Pirates have a history of signing old pitchers who aren't good or trading for those guys. So that's kind of rough. They DFA'd Colin Moran, and I'm just like, why? They're the 4 players that the Pirates got for Garrett Cole from the Astros are now off the team. Moran was the last one, and Jason Martin didn't even see Major League Baseball. The other 3 were kind of flops, and Joe Musgrove was a little flop before he went to San Diego and threw the Padres' first no-hitter in Major League in their franchise history. So, what's going on? Pirates, couldn't tell you. They're not spending an abundance of money. They haven't really dipped too far into the free agent pool this year yet. But, give me a premier player. Give me somebody. Oh, and then the Jacob Stallings trade. Forgot about that.
You almost forgot.
Why? Why'd they do that? Why'd they do that, Smoking Jim? I don't know.
Here.
No.
You missed what I said.
No. They traded him. They traded him away. They traded him away after he wins a Gold Glove. The Pirates have had a history of having a good catcher and then having good seasons. Michael McHenry, Rod Barajas, Russell Martin, Chris Stewart. When the Pirates have had a good catching core, they've been a good team. So you're getting rid of their catcher, who was part of their good core, and what do you leave them with? Well, they did sign somebody, but they signed Jacob Stallings again.
You forgot Spanky from years ago.
Which one's Spanky?
He was a catcher. I forget his name right now, but Spanky. Yeah.
But the Pirates, they signed Roberto Perez. They have a history of recently signing Cleveland Indians, who were kind of good, but aren't good anymore. Roberto Perez is a former Gold Glove winner. He signed a $4 million contract, and I'm just like, why not just keep Stallings? He's already been a part of the organization. Now you go into free agency, spend bottom dollar on the catcher who pretty much is Jacob Stallings. I don't get a core going. They DFA'd Michael Perez too. Why? The Inside Pirates Baseball did a whole nice story about how hard Michael Perez works, and I mean he didn't play too well this year, but like you're trying to create a structure, or you should try to create a structure for a good baseball team, and you're trying to get the fans interested and involved and invested in the players and who they are and how they play, but then you're just dumping them. I don't like that. And then the people that they're signing, we're not dunking in for Javier Baez or Chris Bryant. Not that they were going to be able to, sign the high guys like Seager or Scherzer, but like give me a little dip, give me a little something, give me a little something to smile about when we get to April.
I got to explain what happened here. First, Bill Meads, my friend from KO, said you can read his comment. Thank you, Bill, for complimenting Nick on he does know baseball. That I'm no expert on baseball. I played it and I've watched it for years. It's my first love. What's happening here is like what the Steelers should do at certain times. You got to blow up a team and start over. The Pirates had a late start to this. We won't describe the ownership that likes $20 to $40 million a year profit and doesn't really worry about it. So that's part of the problem. You don't have a guy that worries about baseball, but he has Charrington in here, which if you heard even a couple words, you know what he's doing. They don't care about having loyalty to a $20 million, $30 million a year player, because that's our payroll. One player. Now, scouts over the years, whether I'm right or wrong, have always said when you have a good team that wins 85, 90 games, that's when you should get that $20 million player that could win you 5 to 10 games. Now, if we won 10 extra games, we'd only lost 91 games. What would that do with our fan base? How excited would you be to now lose 91 instead of 101? So it makes no sense to do what you're talking about, a name out there in baseball to get it on our team so you get fans to come out. How about these young players that aren't proven? They win a championship in the minors and you start filtering them in to the major leagues and they have some success.
But when you're trying to develop consistency, why get rid of I don't see why you get rid of Stallings now.
Because he's 32 years old.
But so's Perez. Perez is in his 30s too.
Well, they signed him just to fill a gap there.
But that's my point. Why trade Stallings, the guy who's established? Why DFA Perez, Michael Perez, when you're going to sign Roberto Perez, and he's going to make more money than Stallings did?
Well, I can't defend it, but I can justify it with 3 more players in the minor leagues seems to be Charrington's mission. At this point in time, they're trying to get minor league ball players that can become major leaguers. So that's the difference. You're looking at it from, we want to support the Pirates, we want good players. They don't care about that.
Well, they should.
They don't.
But they should.
I'm just
Maybe that's my argument. They should. They should.
Well, I'm glad I could guide you on that.
They should care. Yes. That's my opinion.
All right. Well, we're going to get to my segment right now. I had a look at and watch that On Location. A2, otherwise known as Anthony, he did a great job on that. I'm just
Tony! Yeah.
He did great. No On Locations coming up. Smoking Jim, we had the Monsville fights canceled because Mike Murray couldn't make it to the fights, and Jim Frio doesn't want to have any fights until March when Mike's able to do it again. Prayers to Mike Murray. He was in a coma for 2 weeks with COVID, in the hospital for 8 weeks. He got out alive. His daughter, his youngest daughter, just died of cancer, so prayers to Mike Murray. And since we don't have any On Location, I wanted to share a little bit on the Steelers. That was one of the worst games that I've ever seen in my life. It was hard to watch the whole game, but I bleed black and gold, and I just watched it from being stubborn. It was a total breakdown from coaching to almost every position in the game. And it was just so frustrating to see this, that this will be Mike Tomlin's first losing year. There's no doubt. People like Smoking Jim and others had said 8-9 at best, and it looks like maybe 8-1 might be the best we can do. almost 500. They don't want to be great. They want to be 8-8 plus 1. What did you guys think? We got a couple minutes left. Smoking Jim the Scout first.
I tell you what, that white tight end we got from Penn State, he's everything and more that I thought he would be. You know, he's already the second best tight end in Steeler history next to Eric Green.
Can you pronounce his name?
Firemoose.
Okay.
Yay!
Because we have different troubles.
There'll never be a better tight end than Eric Green, but he's already better than Heath.
What about Heath?
He's better than Heath, and Heath was a great tight end. Man. He's
Really?
second best.
You
He's
said that
second
in the
best
same
all
breath.
time.
Okay.
Wow.
He's second best in Steeler history. That was a catch. That 7 touchdowns already. The way that he could torque his body and catch, it was outstanding.
We don't have a good offense now.
Well, at least we got him.
Okay.
Didn't he just fumble away, a potential win against the Lions?
A few years ago, quit kicking the white man. No
That wasn't
reverse
a few years.
discrimination.
That was a couple weeks
no
ago, not a
reverse
couple years ago.
right here.
Hey, shout out to Joe Board. Joe Board, our friend in Toronto, Ohio. Thanks, Coach Board, for watching. Jim Ellenbogen, good friend of mine on Facebook. He always makes comments about my wild-caught salmon and other fish. And I didn't have wild-caught turkey, so he was a little disappointed. Shout out to him. Nick, your final thoughts on Steelers?
I mean, they're not good. And I remember I was working at 93.7 The Fan that day, and the Bengals were already up like 2 possessions by the time I got in because I got in at 2 o'clock. They're just rough, like I said before. I think it's time to have no shame in having a losing season, have a gap year where it's just like, yeah, they're not going to be good, and then build in the draft the next year after that.
How do they handle the record of a losing season?
I don't know. What are we going to do? I really don't.
Well, I just had to interrupt you because when you're talking about a gap, we don't talk about a gap. They can't even hit the gaps on the running backs because they're in the backfield.
Big yikes.
Being a lineman, so you got me a little upset. Thank you, everybody, for watching our show, and please stay Joey strong.